All right, so today we're going to be diving deep into the world of Joshua Connor Moon,
Oh, boy.
better known online as Null.
Yep.
And
Great.
we've got a couple of sources for this deep dive.
Okay.
We've got some forum threads, and we've got his Encyclopedia Dramatica entry.
All right.
And
Sounds like a good time.
yeah, it's going to be very interesting.
Looking forward to it.
We've got one from his own kind of stomping grounds on Kiwi Farms.
Yeah.
And the other one is
A little less friendly, I
a
imagine.
little less friendly, a little more critical. We're going to
Right.
see how these sources paint different pictures of him.
Sure.
So buckle up as we unpack the online escapades, controversies, and
Personality.
personality of Null.
I think it's safe to say that his online journey started off with a bang.
Oh, yeah.
More like a ban, actually.
Okay.
On the Blockland forums.
Blockland. Yeah.
Are you familiar with that?
Oh, yeah, Blockland. That Lego-esque building game. I spent a fair bit of time on there myself back in the day.
It had a very infamous
Yeah.
forum community.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah, it is.
Wow.
And Null became a legend there for all the wrong reasons.
Oh, no.
He got over 9,000 bans.
9,000.
You heard that right? 9,000.
That's got to be some kind of record.
Known for extreme behavior, inflammatory posts, the whole shebang.
9,000. What was he doing? Was he spamming? Was he DDoSing people? What was going on?
You'd think it would be something like that, but it was just pure, unadulterated trolling.
Oh, wow.
Like, for example, one time he went after a female forum member,
Okay.
stalking,
Okay.
with some incredibly disturbing threats,
What kind of threats?
talking about rape, dismemberment, the works.
Seriously.
Yeah.
That goes way beyond trolling. That's really scary.
Thankfully, nothing actually happened,
Okay.
but even his attempts to downplay the whole thing were disturbing.
Like what?
He claimed that he was just mad that day,
That's no excuse.
as if that excuse is threatening someone with horrific violence.
Yeah.
And to make matters even more complicated, Stalking's own reputation on the forums was kind of murky.
Really?
Some people saw her as a provocateur herself.
So it was just a whole mess of internet drama
Pretty much.
with a very real and dark undercurrent.
Yeah.
Talk about a toxic online environment.
Yeah, so how does this Blockland troll evolve into whatever he is now?
That's the question.
That's where things take a turn.
Okay.
He eventually moved on from Blockland and got involved with CW Farms, which later became Kiwi Farms,
Right.
which is a haven for
Unsavory characters.
more interesting individuals, let's say.
Interesting.
He offered to co-admin the site, and in a truly Null move, he accidentally doxed himself in the process.
Wait, he doxed himself
Mhm.
on a site known for doxing.
You'd think he'd be more careful considering his history,
Right.
but that's Null for you.
Always in the thick of it.
Always charging headfirst into the chaos.
Yeah.
Of course, the CW users were quick to pick up on his tendency to overreact, and
They had a field day.
let's just say they had a field day with him.
So he was offering to run a site known for harassing people while he was simultaneously being harassed.
Pretty much.
This guy's a walking contradiction.
That's an understatement.
Wow.
So eventually he stepped down from that admin role, but the saga continues.
Oh, boy.
He got involved with 8chan.
8chan is in that 8chan.
Yep, that's the one.
The one that got shut down for being a breeding ground for everything terrible.
Yeah.
Wow.
But before all that went down, he convinced the founder, Frederick,
Hot Wheels.
Hot Wheels, yeah,
Hot Wheel, Brennan.
that he was the guy to take 8chan to the next level.
Oh, really?
He promised all these amazing coding upgrades with his Infinity software.
I'm sensing a butt coming here.
Oh, a massive butt.
Okay.
The Infinity project was an epic fail.
Oh, no.
Overpromised, underdelivered, didn't bother with testing, the whole 9 yards.
Oh, my God.
And the 8chan community paid $12,000 for a broken website.
Hold on. He got paid $12,000 to develop software for a site that would later become infamous for all sorts of awful stuff, and then he just bailed.
Exactly.
Sounds about right.
Accusations of scamming were flying left and right, but that seems to be a recurring theme with Null.
Really.
Big promises, huge drama, then vanishes and leaves a trail of digital wreckage in his wake.
Oh, wow.
And that's just the tip of the iceberg.
I'm officially hooked.
Good.
We're going to have to pause here for now, but trust me, you do not want to miss part 2 of our deep dive into the wild world of Null.
Welcome back to our deep dive into the world of Null.
All right, so last time we left off with him.
We left off with him abandoning the 8chan project, with accusations of scamming swirling around him.
Yes.
So now let's shift gears and delve into his Encyclopedia Dramatica entry.
Oh boy, I'm ready for this.
Which, shall we say, doesn't hold back?
Encyclopedia Dramatica never does.
No, they don't.
What kind of dirt did they dig up on our friend Null?
Well, no, first of all, it straight up accuses him of pedophilia,
Whoa, okay.
citing alleged admissions from Null about viewing child pornography
Wow.
and expressing attraction to
Neko Shota.
which is a type of anime-style artwork often depicting underage boys.
Okay, that's a lot to process.
Yeah,
Are these claims substantiated?
that's the tricky part.
Why?
The Encyclopedia Dramatica entry does include snippets of these alleged chat logs,
Okay.
but their authenticity is difficult to verify.
Right, it's the internet. Anyone
Yeah.
can fabricate a chat log.
Exactly.
So it's important to take those claims with a grain of salt.
Yes.
But they certainly raise some serious red flags.
Absolutely.
Even if we just set aside those accusations, there's still a whole lot of other questionable stuff
Oh, absolutely.
associated with Null, right?
The entry delves into his personality, and it's a wild ride.
Right.
For example, while he allegedly expresses this attraction to underage boys, he also seems to harbor a deep hatred for children in general.
So not exactly winning any World's Best Dad awards then.
No, not at all.
What a contradiction.
Yeah.
It doesn't stop there.
Oh boy.
The entry also touches upon his physical health, or lack thereof.
Uh-oh.
Apparently, Null is a notorious junk food addict,
Really?
guzzling liters of soda,
Oh,
barely touching anything nutritious.
Yikes.
There's even speculation about him being morbidly obese
Oh, wow.
and suffering various health problems as a result.
Okay, starting to see a pattern here.
What's that?
Extreme behavior, controversial statements,
Yeah.
a complete disregard for his well-being.
It seems like it.
This guy's a walking, talking train wreck.
He is something else.
But he's still out there somehow maintaining an online presence.
It is baffling, but there's one more thing.
Okay.
And this is perhaps the most concerning aspect of all.
Oh no, what now?
There are genuine worries about Null being a potential mass shooter.
Whoa, hold on.
Yeah.
A mass shooter?
Mm-hmm.
Are we talking legitimate threats or just more internet tough guy posturing?
It's hard to say for sure,
Okay.
but the entry cites his obsession with violent media, particularly video games
Okay.
and music associated with the Columbine shooters.
Okay, that's not good.
And then there are those frequent threats of violence, which we already discussed.
Yeah, the threats against stalking were pretty unsettling.
Right, and apparently he's threatened other people too.
Really?
There's a particularly chilling quote from a private chat highlighted in the Encyclopedia Dramatica entry,
Okay.
where Null expresses a desire to kill and rape as many people as possible before being gunned down by SWAT.
Okay, yeah, you can't just brush that off as edgy humor.
No.
That's deeply disturbing.
It is.
And I'm guessing this is where his involvement with Chris Chan comes into play.
You got it.
Okay.
The entry details how Null, despite his history of trolling and harassing people online, suddenly decided to become Chris Chan's self-proclaimed protector.
Okay.
He tried to shield Chris from other trolls
Okay.
and essentially control who could interact with him both online and offline.
Hold on. The guy who threatened to rape and murder people online is now the self-appointed guardian of someone as vulnerable as Chris Chan.
I know, right?
Something about that doesn't add up.
It's a bizarre turn of events
Yeah.
that led to accusations of hypocrisy and manipulation.
Really?
Some believe that Null was simply trying to control Chris Chan for his own amusement or to further some twisted agenda.
So we've got a self-proclaimed lolcow
Yeah.
who's also accused of pedophilia,
Right.
potentially harboring violent tendencies,
That's right.
and is obsessed with protecting another infamous internet figure.
That about sums it up.
This is one tangled web we've stumbled into.
It is.
I have a feeling we're not done yet.
You're right. There's one more piece of the puzzle.
Okay.
The nature of Null's relationship with Chris Chan
Right.
and the fallout from his attempts to protect him.
Okay.
That, my friend, is a story for part 3 of our deep dive.
Welcome back to the final part of our deep dive into the enigma that is Null, or as the real world knows him, Joshua Connor Moon. We've covered his Blockland antics,
Right.
his forays into Kiwi Farms and 8chan,
Yeah.
and those eyebrow-raising allegations from Encyclopedia Dramatica.
That's right.
But there's one big piece of the puzzle left.
Okay.
His relationship with Chris Chan.
Yes, the self-proclaimed protector of the infamous Chris Chan.
Right.
It's a dynamic that's both intriguing and unsettling, to say the least.
Yeah, last time we touched on how Null went from being one of Chris's biggest tormentors to suddenly positioning himself as his guardian, trying to control who could interact with Chris,
Right.
both online and off.
That's right.
It's a pretty drastic 180, wouldn't you say?
It is.
I mean, this is the guy who according to Encyclopedia Dramatica,
Yeah.
allegedly fantasized about mass violence
Right.
and expressed some very disturbing views on child exploitation.
Yeah.
And now he's playing the White Knight for Chris Chan.
It definitely makes you scratch your head.
It does.
The Encyclopedia Dramatica entry calls him out for hypocrisy,
Yeah, I could see that.
suggesting that he might be using Chris Chan for his own amusement.
Or maybe even some kind of twisted power trip.
Chris Chan's vulnerability is well documented,
It is.
and he's been exploited countless times over the years.
He has.
To have someone like Null insert himself into the situation
Right.
with all his baggage and questionable motives, it's definitely cause for concern.
Absolutely. And the fallout from this protection was significant.
Really?
It created a huge rift within the online communities that followed both Chris Chan and Null.
Oh, wow.
Some people applauded Null for trying to shield Chris from further harm, while others saw it as a blatant attempt to control and manipulate him.
So it's like a real-life social experiment gone wrong.
Yeah.
Two incredibly controversial and troubled figures colliding, and it's impossible to predict the outcome or even understand the motivations at play.
Exactly, and that's what makes this whole saga so fascinating and unsettling in equal measure.
Yeah, I can definitely see that.
It's a stark reminder that the internet can be a breeding ground for both the best and worst of human behavior.
Right.
People can find community and support. Yeah.
But they can also be exploited, manipulated, and pushed to extremes.
And with Null and Chris Chan, it feels like we're witnessing a collision of those two worlds.
Yeah.
It's a cautionary tale about the dangers of online fame,
Right.
the blurred lines between reality and fantasy,
Yeah.
and the very real consequences when vulnerable individuals get caught in the crossfire.
Well said.
Thank you.
I think it's safe to say our deep dive into Joshua Connor Moon has left us with more questions than answers.
It really has.
Is he a troubled individual seeking redemption?
Right.
A calculated manipulator seeking to exploit others? Or maybe a bit of both?
Probably.
Ultimately, it's up to each of you listening to draw your own conclusions based on the information we've presented.
Exactly. We've just scratched the surface here.
That's right.
There's a whole rabbit hole of forum posts, chat logs, and articles out there for those who are brave enough to venture further.
Yeah, be careful out there.
But be warned, it's a journey that might leave you feeling more disturbed than enlightened.
That's the internet for you.
That is the internet for you.
Thanks for joining us for this wild ride.
And until next time, stay informed, stay engaged,
Stay safe.
and as always, keep diving deep.